Say her name, Breonna Taylor. Say her name, Breonna Taylor. Say her name, type her name, repeat her name as much as you can. This is day 6 since the testimony started of USA v. Hankison trial, federal trial that is. And once again, Hankison is on trial for the violation of the 4th Amendment rights of Breonna Taylor and Kenneth Walker, the 14th Amendment rights of the neighbors surrounding Breonna Taylor's apartment 4 at 3003 Springfield Drive. Today's testimony started with the gentleman who was upstairs in the apartment who came out and whose apartment was also shot at. I keep pronouncing his last name wrong, so I'm not even going to attempt it, but I guess I will once. I think it was something along Sharpou. Please forgive me for my mispronunciation of that last name. The defense brought him up as a witness, but in my opinion, as I'm hearing from others too, it did not go in the defense's way that they wanted, that they would have wanted. Again, the defense's side is Hankison's side. It worked more on the USA side of things. Next after that was John Mattingly. John Mattingly was there. He was the officer who was shot there at the scene on March 13th. He testified as well. And then after him was Brett Hankison. Brett Hankison is still on the stand. He's still testifying. We're currently on break as we speak now, but once we get back, he will continue his testifying. Now, I don't want to give some guesstimation as what that means as it relates to when this might wrap up, this entire case anyway. But more on that later if I learn more as it relates to when the defense is ready to rest their list of witnesses, just as USA did yesterday. Now, Brett Hankison's testimony was very baffling in my opinion. There was moments where he began to get emotional and started to tear up as he was describing the moment when, as he said, his friends were getting shot at. His friends were getting shot at. There were many more things I could point out about his testimony that are serious eyebrow raisers, but one of which was he began to get emotional in court, describing that moment when I'm using air quotes as I say this, his friends were getting shot at, which builds emphasis on my opinion that in that moment of him firing, he was also emotional and firing emotional erratically into that apartment, which leads to this court case today as we speak. It builds credence on that for me. I can't speak for anybody else, but it just simply does. Now, he said on the stand that he wasn't supposed to be there. It was his day off, apparently. But hey, there he is. How that worked, I don't know. But I believe he said it on the stand, but I don't know how all that works, how I was supposed to be there. Another thing that was an eyebrow raiser for me was Hankison was asked, had you ever been to a scene where officers were being shot at before? He took a long pause, a deep breath, and he said, no, he had been to a hospital to check on an officer who had been shot, but he had never been to a scene where an officer-involved shooting had taken place. This was his first time. That, coupled with the emotional response, tells me he should have never been there. But again, that's just me. Again, we're on break right now, about to go back in a matter of minutes. But this is, again, the USA v. Hankison trial, federal trial against Hankison for violating the 4th Amendment rights of Breonna Taylor and Kenneth Walker and 14th Amendment rights of the neighbors. Again, a neighbor, the gentleman who was at the neighbor's house upstairs, I believe in apartment 8, took the stand today. Before John Mattingly took the stand, before Brett Hankison took the stand, who's currently on the stand. When the defense is ready to rest, I am unsure. But if I find out more on that, I'll definitely will update. And after that, of course, we'll know when it's time the jury for it to make its decision, which is what I'm hoping for, will be a guilty verdict to bring more justice for Breonna Taylor and right this wrong continue to right this wrong that has so wrongly been had. Please stay aware of what's going on at this case. Please stay saying her name. But if you do nothing else, I do hope you stay live.
If you do nothing else.
Nothing else.
If you do nothing else.
Do nothing else.
If you 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 do nothing else.